You said love me now, would you love me? I was down, but you still have love for me, girl. I'm stuck in my head. Let's see. Let's check it out. Hello. What's up? So this video, it could be a public video. It could be members only. Who knows? Not even sure yet. But what I am sure about is we're gonna smoke this weed and talk about the Nasdaq. All right. Let's see. Let's get some resources involved. All right. So, long story, super short. Um, let's get planning. Really should save this. I mean, I probably have it saved. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's on my desktop somewhere, but essentially, you know, little thing here. The chat might pop in whenever they pop in. So I'll just get on what I'm doing. Essentially, it's like a big parts of the puzzle here. Okay. Uh, difference between leveraging and over leveraging is a very thin line. And the reason why I say that um, is because, like, I understand where a lot of people want that, like, hey, let me just pass my challenge. Let me just, you know, trying to put a certain amount of money on your account. Or if you are somebody like me who you don't really plan a certain amount, you're typically used to making a certain minimum and you're going for that, which is okay. But you're not really going for gold every single day. You're not waking up like, all right, I need 10,000. Okay. I'm not saying you can't get there. But what I'm saying is let's have a like again, majority of people who are trading right now are trying to go for funded challenges, right? And when we talk about like risk management or um whatever else. What up? What up? How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. So, um, I just started ranting or whatever. But essentially what I was doing was, you know, talking about our same topic we did before about, valuing price swings rather, you know. And I feel like let me know if you can hear me by the way.
I can hear you.
Oh nice, nice. Um somebody remind me to go down to Target or whatever, I guess Best Buy, whatever is uh better for the headphones. I don't really like the Bluetooth ones I see. I like wired headphones, but they always break though. It's not fun. But long story short, when we talk about valuing price swings, right? It's that same thing with like whether it's personal or a profit from account. Um, a lot of people are taking trades but have no idea how much they're trying to make. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, makes a lot of sense.
And I'm not saying it's like every time you trade, it kind of should be, but it's more towards like, nine, 8 times out of 10, if we can, um, just have some sort of real intention to our trading. And I know at first everyone's like, well, I have the objective. Like we understand we all have the same objective. No, not necessarily. Like when I take a trade, getting a loss back is different from just waking up, had a good day yesterday, and I'm just ready to trade on my second day of trying to keep my profits, right? Way different mental situation, right? You know what I mean? And I feel like it's harder to come off a loss and then approach your next trade with that same logic and that same confidence. You know what I mean? It's really tough to do that. So it makes you kind of want to keep flipping things around and changing things because, um, in my experience, it's like we understand all those moments where it's like I see what I'm doing wrong, but it might be from now my personal experience. It's always me looking at something incorrectly or seeing it too late, right? But by the time that like I realize that what I've planned for, whether it's a certain target, but I'm not really valuing the area that I'm actually using at all. So whether I was, let's say, focused on something over here, today was actually an interesting day. So far, take any scouts today?
I did take a scalp this morning, um, on my, oh, that's not what I want. Shrink this. I don't know why my mouse is being slow. Yeah, I did take a scalp this morning on, one of my prop accounts. And I basically came in intentionally with a scalp to just grab like from an EQ to, I didn't think we were hitting the top of that 81 that we were in when we opened.
You think you didn't think so?
No, I
Really?
I didn't see I didn't see us hitting the top of that 81, which we didn't. We left PO3 liquidity.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah. So like, that is typically like my biggest thing, right? Where even like on the small time frame here, um, just going in order, right? Seeing how like one sec. See, it's crazy. It's like that. Mhm. There we go. So long story short, when I'm looking at like the power three liquidity here, it definitely didn't take it at first. But when you see stuff like this, I know most people aren't now, but just to make sure you're comfortable when it goes like that, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And like this is, even coming from a news candle or like a news situation, these are the best. I mean, that is absolutely the best. You can't really get better, to be honest, you know?
yeah, yeah. That was a nice move.
So when we talk about the price swing itself, I mean, it goes almost 700. And so I would say when I'm looking at something, obviously, like with this move here, I was focused more on like the buy side liquidity. I knew that was going to get there. That was very easy. But when I look at like the actual sessions and whatnot, um, it does make sense that the 243 was easy to kind of use as a reference point. Because even like last night, I was like, oh, okay. So we basically just made it to like this 243 EQ.
Yeah,
And that was I mean, I could kind of tell just off this one too when we talk about PO3, right? Just failure. but even like breaker to fair value in general, even if I don't really verify at first as being like a full like algo two, I just like the breaker going to fair value gap a lot. But any sort of retracement, a lot of people think that it's just retracement downward is a 2022 model, but that's not necessarily the truth, right? The biggest thing that we kind of need to play around with is essentially how like even if it was a half day, um, and not even just saying like maxing out on it, but when we talk about like where are the real areas, and I was saying this earlier, um, maybe if Ryan saw this here and was like, well, I thought that this 5 minute fair value gap would hold. Um, I get that. But the problem is, even inside of like the day itself, I'd rather all of us just be more in sync with order flow and be in these areas that make the most sense, right? And so if you're starting out in a good area, you guys will get into like that, whether it's days range or if I shift this down, watch this. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So like these are the areas we need to be in. And not even to be a stickler about like the actual cycle, like the X and D cycle. It's just understanding like what our opportunity really is. So if this is like the best, it's like this is like the second best. And people will probably think about this as backward. Only reason why I'm saying Asia really is the best is because there's so much, and we if we really speak out loud about it. Hello. So we really speak out loud about it. Like this price swing here, right? It's actually a lot easier to deal with. I know a lot of people who might jump the gun on this, take a loss before the win, and now this is nothing but getting our money back and a little extra. But then again, we have something that's like not saying it because it's Sunday, but we see this on every Judas. It's really like a definitive shape. You know what I mean? It's either
Yeah.
boom or but even if we have a variable with it, typically, and this one is really perfect. You know what I mean? And I gave out like whether it's London kill zone or whether it's New York kill zone or whether it's Asia, right? I mean, if you really think about it, when have we ever seen the market make a major reversal that is not on a major level? Like, I'm really thinking about that at this point. You know what I mean? Like, we understand the go back levels create support resistance. We get that. But I mean, like, when does it really make a major, like, the fake move down to the Judas? It almost 10 times out of 9 times out of 10 makes it to a major level. You know what I mean? So I feel as though that's not super um hard to deal with. And whether this is like the more optimal time for certain people, work schedules and things like that, I totally understand. But how do you feel now more about like not just liquidity or visually targeting something, but using just time in general? Like, hey, if I'm in on Judas swing, the right time I'm supposed to be in, I can even set it to a target or the level, of course. But if you're expecting this 81 to fill in, the Judas swing once it activates, I mean, what real danger are you actually in? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I still am not comfortable setting a target and walking away.
And it's not even like you have to really walk away from it. Like, you can keep the monitor open, watch your phone or whatever. But the whole thing is when you go to check it, your whole mission is to be, down here on these parts. You know what I'm saying? And then once this starts operating, you're like, oh, well, this is not going to stop till like 2 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? But the whole premise of this is like somebody just asked me this morning and they were like, listen, what do you mean by functionality in your context? Like what does that mean? So when we say functionality, right? Um, like the marketplace, let's say the Judas swing is a function. Okay. Asia specific, we know where to find it, we know when to find it. And it feels kind of like a cheat code because it's only two processes that the algorithm will choose to use. And so that's why when we talk about all of our planning for the news on 8:30, right? Whether you're somebody who I just like to be more efficient. So if we can actually I showed a few people this earlier. Um there's plenty of ways, and I understand it's like the time people aren't used to like real trending. That's nothing but Algo one, if I'm honest. Okay. Am I right? You have the whole curve and everything. So when we talk about confluence, or I mean, what type of data we have, it's just on us to determine what's possible for reversal or not. You know what I mean? Or really break down mentally like what would make you um whether it's close early, or I know a lot of times you're like, yo, no, I had one target, I got there, that was it. So I closed the trade. Like that was it, you know? But I do think leaving the runner is the most important thing. So when we bring it back our table, right? Okay. My thing is, right, if we knew that this 81 was going to fill in, okay, if even if you just knew like, hey, you know what, I think this 81 can do it. We come down here, what I'm now looking for, and I say this all the time, right, when I come to like entry hacks and stuff, but I'm really looking for like the lowest candle in an area. And the reason why I say it like that, uh, it's not like you need to be directly down here, but you do need to understand what's happening. So I explained this to one person this morning that like it's not that we want to just come in reckless and anywhere. No, it's not ambiguous. But what I'm saying is you realize that this is not going to be fucked with again once it starts to move. So can I start aggressively being a part of these retracements? Sure. Why not? And also, I mean, if you just have like, attention to detail, not saying you fully need it, but you realize that it's making higher lows. I mean, even just retail traders would see something like that and be like, oh, well, that's kind of bullish there, right? But outside of that, right, we're talking mostly about time. So when we break things down, yes, I want you to operate your Judas swing correctly. My bad, stung for a second. So I'm updating myself. I don't have to close this whole thing out right at 2. I know a lot of people did. So right at 2 a.m., right? Obviously. For those who keep asking me about this thing I have, it's called the CVL. Okay. Obviously you can go back to the video and see these settings, or I think I posted the settings in the Discord. It should be in resources. But however you want to use it, right? It's just highlighting my 2 to 5 as a kill zone. Okay. So in this case, we talked about like why I find this more optimal or whatever. Hmm. X cycle. It's by definition trendy, right? The state of it is trendy. Um, but that gives us like a vector toward like the A cycle, right? And so if it's going the same direction, and by default, I said something really interesting yesterday. Don't just blindly follow my damn words. Okay? Please verify what the fuck is on the screen just in case you get a variable and it's something you need to watch for. Somebody will break down this one part and say, yo, I got the Judas or I got it. Okay, perfect. So that means you probably found the fake rundown and you probably got into buys down here, right? And you're letting it run and whatnot. But the thing is, I'm gonna pivot to two ideas really quick. Yes, you're going to update yourself at 2 a.m. See if your idea is still working. Take a partial. You do want to take something. Pay the trader. Take something. I don't give a fuck if it's one contract and you got 20. Just take something. All right. Something. But my point is, you don't have to close the entire thing because this is what happens psychologically. You're going to close the entire trade and then you're going to start to look at all this here and it's going to start to make you feel some type of way. You're like, oh fuck, I'm actually in the kill zone too. Fuck, I shouldn't have closed it. Now you're going to start to aggressively open and close things all over this thing. Then it's going to lead you. Let's say you don't even see this right here. Let's say you see it up here. You probably walked away when you took profit. You come back a little later. Yo, hold on, it's not done yet. Now let me zoom in. Now, obviously, you look at this big ball of dog shit. It's an A cycle. And so the important part when we talk about X, A, M, D, I mean, it's literal. X, A, then you have that M. And then typically it'll find a gap or do whatever. And then you have your mitigation block, distribution cycle, whatever. But my point, right, is that you got to be more on top of like what part of the cycle you're trying to trade and be intentional about it. Yes, things start and stop at nearly perfect times. Like I said, you're going to update yourself at 2. You're going to notice that the change in the state of delivery is completely not an X cycle anymore. This is nothing but the building of liquidity. We talk about a cycle. I made a joke about this recently. A lot of people are only comfortable with old liquidity. Let it be a brand new high or a brand new low, and all of a sudden it's what the fuck is that? Be on top of it. And so if you understand that the whole London situation here is meant for you to, if you are already down here, you can relax, take some partials, and this is the tricky part. All right. Wanted to talk about this because this happens to a few people multiple times. And I kind of want to roll a joint today. I just smoked a joint, but let's smoke another one. All right. Anyway, so I'm looking at this down here. All right. So we talked about like why this was interesting in the first place. You got the 81 low, okay? I keep pulling this motherfucker out, right? Watch this. Now, this is my thing, like I said, okay? It's all about being understanding of what you're doing and what you're looking at. All right. The annoying part is that if you're only planning for um not saying just the 81 in general, but some people will look at it like this, where let's say you actually caught the move from somewhere down here, right? I totally get this. Well, Jay, this was buy side liquidity. I couldn't really see it going higher. And I just, I closed it. I just capped it. I closed it. I thought it was going to retrace on me. I was, already having a heart attack in the trade anyway. So I just closed it. Don't worry. I totally get it. I totally get it. But what I want you to do instead, all right, is this is something we talk about in 101. I want you to just ask yourself the three questions, right? It's not like a exclusive club for that. I mean, I could tell this to anybody. But realistically, it's just three questions that you need to ask yourself. My only target, why or why not? You need to think to yourself that if it does actually retrace from here, where the hell do you think it's going to go? Not saying it like that, but what I'm saying, logically speaking, there's a reason for up and down, not just for money. But really think if you were making the marketplace or if you were looking to actually dump this thing, where would you possibly even return to and why? We have already understanding that this is a manipulation cycle, number one. So that's why your candles are a little more energetic here. But at the same time, even if this was I'll just give you the one people typically do, right? Well, Jay, I thought that was turtle soup, so we're just going to highlight that, right? Maybe you thought this was turtle soup to then sell it down, right? I get it. And you're probably planning on that because Asia was wide open. Totally understand that. Is that logical? Sure. Why not? Does it work? Fuck no. Now, the reason why I'm laughing, right? This is the stupid part. We talk about creating a narrative or why I talk about okay. What's the only thing keeping me from selling this thing down to the ground and knowing that this is buy side? And I will give you a cheat sheet. This is not the only reason, although it's a very good reason once you see a reaction from here. But before I say it, what's another reason that you guys think I might have kept my eyes on buys instead of sells? Even though this could be what? Turtle soup, going back down, there's TL3 liquidity and whatever else. Why wouldn't it go down instead of up? What's another main thesis, main clue that stops me from buying or selling, rather? This weed smells like this weed smells like Oreos. Is that normal? That's funny. Is there something that keeps me into buying automatically? I'm always looking for ways to eliminate one side of the marketplace. But how? How do we do this? And my thing is, right, when you're looking at like these dealing ranges down here, it's not the only thing I care about, but midnight, I care about that midnight line. Wow, yikes. Only reason why I'm saying that, right? Basic ICT. And a kill zone. The reason why I'm saying it like this exactly is because daily candle opens. Midnight is like a natural equilibrium. Does that make sense? It's like a natural EQ every single day. Algorithm resets. All this protraction stuff here, or even the move down here for the start to your manipulation, right? Once this darts from a discount, it's going to run for a premium. It's not going to stop. And you're in a manipulated state, right? We already talked about how why this is hilarious. You know, you plan it out. Too far, too fast. Now, this annoying little box that keeps popping up. All right. The reason why I keep mentioning this thing, right, is because when we're planning for these 81s, and again, we have ways to verify not just this amount in range, but if you're expecting this almost to like a minimum or like your idea in general can get you what you comfortably can catch as around, three, a little over 300 ticks or whatever, make the money. Like, make the money. Like, what are we waiting for? And it's not in the perspective of risk on or risk off or trading or over trading. It's from the perspective of being intentional about your moves here. So if you're telling me, yo, Jay, I saw last night that we are hanging out on this 81 low. And this is why I'm going back to why I mentioned that this is a better price swing than even something down here where it's a little riskier for somebody who's new. It's a little faster. So you do need to be a little quicker on your feet thinking here. So you don't just get FOMO and think that now you're not sure what to look at and you're all over the place trying to find your narrative. But my point, right? Again, if you're telling me, yo, and we do this first as a group, is it XAMD on the day or is it AMDX? These XAMD cycles, you guys should be so excited about these things because it requires you to come in and get work done early. That's the point to that. You're done low key 90% of your work by the time, if not everything, by the time you get to London here. You're not actually dealing with this in any sort of respect for an entry if you don't want to. You're not forced to trade an A cycle. Before it used to be super ambiguous. You would have to wake up and see if this shit was great or not. We reverse engineered it as a team and we verified you do not have to do that anymore. If this is an X cycle, we know because it's 8:30 news on New York. It's forced to be this order in cycle. XAM. Then else for it to do. But that's what I'm saying. You're already coming in with a predefined X here. That means you make the money here, man. This is the lowest of low resistance that you can get. Is that the range and price that we really want? And let's say, again, you don't even need it from down here. Let's say you caught it from like the fair value area. Okay. Okay. I'm liking it. You know what I mean? You get just about yeah. I mean it goes 330, but let's say you just wanted 310. Go for it. No problem. No problem. No problem. And is the time good? That's what we also give a fuck about. Look, right at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're done. So you might not like that retracement because that goes a little far, right? Goes damn near 50% of the range. But what I'm saying, you're already knowing that from Asia and London starts at 3, so there's no confusion about that. You're going to check in with yourself around 2, see what's up around 3, close your shit out. There's nothing else for you to do. So when you have this thing, this comes from planning. I'm not saying you have to be a complete Judas swing trader only or London only or whatever. We're not only fans over here. But what I'm saying, make the damn money. You don't have to put 9 or 10 on it. But if you're somebody who's like, yo, I'm used to like, putting my 3 contracts on, that's just how I rock it out right now. I'm so used to making my, my 450 inside of here. Again, that's great money. I'm not saying that's bad at all. $400 is great. But if you're telling me, Jay, I knew this thing was gonna, and I was already I was already down here, and I knew it was a Judas, and I get it, I get it, I get it. But I'm not gonna be as interested in the end of your story until you tell me you made fucking $2,000, $3,000. I'm not going to be as hyped. You just told me you knew exactly what was going on, but you didn't trust it all the way. That's what you're really saying to me. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Let me know. Well, no, no. Well, then what is it? Why do we only make $300, $400 if you told me, yo, we're going from A to B, and you knew it? That's why this is not really much about technicals. It's about your intention. Let's skip over to something here. All right. I want to show you something. All right. So let's get rid of that real quick. Let's focus on this. It's a Thursday. All right. Now again, I'm being intentional. All right. The reason why I'm saying that, right? Let's go from the top of why I give a fuck about Thursday. Regardless of whatever cycle that we decide to define it, right? It's going to be my it don't really matter. Like however you want to look at it. So like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday, Saturday, and whatever. So like when you're looking at these X and D, do we already understand the expected? You can tell this weed I smoked is really good. So expected price action. Okay. I'm not surprised that Thursday looks like that. We've already planned it. We've planned it. We've planned it. We've planned it. It's on us to be organized and do our job correctly. So if you're telling me, yo, Jay, I was on time, and we're gonna break down the entire day. Go ahead, really, really quick, right? Watch. And again, it's not a long lecture, but it's a very meaningful one because when we start to measure shit, and I've told a few people to do this, and it actually causes anxiety. Not like I'm trying to give you anxiety about this, but before I break this down, I want you to just see what I'm saying. Okay. So I'm not going to bring it back this second, but I will for reference. All right. So for example, if you're telling me, yo, Jay, I caught the Judas swing. We had an early exit at 1 o'clock instead of 2. Okay. A little early. Not bad. Still 300 plus ticks. Now, this obviously is a way insane price swing. Cool, we get that. You hit a major go back level here and it went up. Okay. But I don't really give a fuck about that. We give a fuck about how to run our Judas the right fucking way. So even if you're met with a variable, no, I do not care about that up move. I do not care. I care more about how we're using this afterward. Because what do we find? And let me be an asshole again. What the fuck is that? Ooh, the five. London kill zone. Dope. Now, problem here. It's a Thursday. I'm looking for some real range here. I'm looking for some real range. So I understand, right? That in my kill zone, not only am I looking for a reversal or some sort of reaction, but I'm actually looking for like where is my high or low of the day? Is this low of the day? No, 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 no. Not going to work that way. And if you remember, the whole week, in terms of context, we were very bullish. By the time we make it to Thursday, you got to start thinking in your head, yo, hold on, bro. These are some of the questions you have to ask yourself. Now, in the chat, I mentioned that there was a Monday low. Okay, we're just going to highlight that 2 to 5. We'll get rid of the CVL. I know it's annoying. Monday low. Monday low. Not saying you need to know this on Monday. No. But I need you to get to a point where you're like, listen, damn, when I really look at it, it got to be Monday low, Thursday high. Even if you're wrong and we have to trade Friday, still bullish, we'll get to that. But you're doing one thing at a time anyway. The thing about confidence in trading comes from function, not about fear, greed, any of that. You either understand what the algorithm's doing or you don't. It's that simple. And people want to add a lot of extra stuff to it and whatnot. But I will say, you want to keep a fresh mental state, understand when you feel good, when you don't feel good. That plays a role, sure. But what I'm saying is when you go back and look at all these price swings, you're realizing that your analysis is actually getting better, faster. Oh, snap. Yo, I'm telling you, this weed smells like Oreos. I don't know what's up with that. It's kind of cool, but it's kind of not cool. I don't know. But it's more cool than not cool, if that makes any sense. But like, when we talk about London, right? It's typically our high or low of the day, if not given inside of New York, obviously. But this is the thing, right? That London kill zone 2 to 5 makes a high. And I've given out this is the literal functionality of that. So once this high is placed in, it's not like a regular high. Oh, okay, this is here. We need to watch for this being buy side liquidity. This is shut down from that idea from the rip. I can see this here. Like in this area, once it broke down, I can see that. It doesn't take me hours and hours and hours to figure this out. So what do you do? What do you get left with? I watch a lot of Death Note and I've seen it multiple times, but I'm watching it from a different perspective every time. So if anybody who's never seen it, it's like a show about, these two dudes, they basically just predict what each other does. It's just all about deducing situations. But when we talk about like deducing situations, Monday low, Thursday high, London high of the day, inside of my kill zone on time. And you can tell that that's what I'm talking about with your variables. You can see this stuff when you understand the function and what time it needs to happen. You'll look at this and be like, yo, what is this? It's not even 2 o'clock in the morning yet. You could tell that they stopped this early to start another function. You could see it. You're not just going to be reacting to this. Oh, I might have been wrong about the Judas. No, you were not wrong at all. It just stopped an hour early because they needed to hurry up and make that damn high of the day on time. They weren't going to give it down here. That's my point. Listen, now you pop into all this other stuff. We do not care about this 5 a.m. But what I'm saying is, um, if you don't get it between 2 and 5, you're not going to want to trade this 6 and whatever else. You're just going to wait till optimal trade entry pops in a certain way. That's how you obviously don't get fucking annoyed by this thing. Anybody else going too early, you're going to get fucked by this off the rip. And it's going to annoy you into not wanting to trade the rest of the day. I'm telling you that now. Be on time to work. Listen, you're offered the 2022 model right after that. You have fair value. You have clean liquid here. Also, you have more liquid offered to you. Even though they took out this Asia low down here and they made you think that that wasn't going to be available again, lower, still liquidity. They do nothing but make new liquidity. But this is my fucking point. Okay. So this is the New York entry. This is the London entry. If you knew that that was high of the day, high of session. Okay. But our whole point, that box pop up on you again. I'm so annoyed, yo. So listen, two perspectives, only 2.5 things I left I really want to tell you, but um just want your I just want you to be freshly thinking about this. All right. Now, one sec. So again, real quick. Again, this is based on 300 ticks, right? So if we're doing, let's do something real simple. Let's talk about 2, let's talk about 4, let's talk about 6, and then 8. All right. Let's keep it there. All right. Now let's measure this price swing a few times. So right here, if you got this London high, right? Obviously, buy side liquidity is here. And again, we're being logical. We're not doing this in hindsight. You got to go in order. All this is not here when you're fucking trading up here. So don't act like it is when you're studying. So this is the only thing that's available for you in terms of liquidity. I'm not talking about the short-term ones. Only thing here that's available as short-term liquidity. All right. Um, so like realistically, right, when you're looking at this here, watch. From this London high, right, there's an order block right here. You get about 750 out of that. So again, if we're thinking about, we're gonna do it on the screen real quick, thinking about 2, 4, 6, and then 8. I mean, 2 contracts going $750. You feel what I'm saying? What is that? 14. I suck at math, but you know, You feel what I'm saying? So again, if we're just operating entry to the easiest liquidity, right? Low hanging fruit. And it's not the amount of size, is why I'm saying that. It's because we know the logic to the situation. Low hanging fruit. Where else is it going to go? Here. Let's say you didn't get that. All right, no problem. You're still in business. All right, you didn't miss a thing. I'm not trying to hear that. Everyone says, yo, I missed it, so I sat out. But while you're busy feeling like you missed it, we're over here catching the next one. So what do? You're not even at the liquidity yet. And you're telling me that I'm not saying like just this one, but I'm talking like when you go up and you rebalance that fair value gap. If we know that this is not the real draw of liquidity, you can't tell me that this up run was technically threatening. I get it. Well, Jay, I didn't know if this was a turtle to go long. I mean, we've been going long. No, 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 no. No. The whole day is framed from Thursday high of the week. Even if we have to change what we're doing the next day and deal with it, that's fine. I mentioned that. But what I'm going to say is you need to be on top of function versus structure, structure versus function, however you want to put it. Now, what do you get here, right? Got 6 and 8. You can do the math, right? Now, this one's about 476 ticks here. So again, two contracts making you 470. What's 470 times two? Was that like eight? So even still, you're close to $1,000 off that. Close to $1,000. If you want to double that up, that's not bad. Do you feel what I'm saying? Now, again, think about 2, 4, and going all the way down. But this is the thing with this price swing down here. Okay. I want to talk about taking partials. If you're telling me that this liquidity here is the only target that you logically could plan for, then yes, I will understand that you got into trade here, fully closed it, or you got into a trade here and you fully closed it. If you're telling me you did not think that it had any fucking business down here, okay, I'll believe you. But if you're telling me, yo, man, I knew that was going to fill in and whatever else, then that means that you should have been planning accordingly. That's not really just on how much money we want to make. But if you're telling me, yo, I got multiple targets I can plan for, I'll show you what I mean. Let's clean this up a little bit. Let's go down to a 5. All right. Now watch. If you took this fair value gap up here on the 5, you're actually offered multiple targets. Okay. You got 1, 2, obviously equal lows down here. Super easy. But then again, this is what I'm saying. When you do get that retrace, right? You get another one. Boom. If you like gaps, cool. You're offered new liquidity. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not trading towards shit that does not have brand new liquidity. I'm not doing it. Fuck no. This does not give me new liquidity. I'm not trading toward it. If this came down here like this, and I thought that this was the last one available, I'm not holding that. You're tripping. Because exactly what we're looking at on screen, this having a single pass movement is prone to retrace, leaving gaps open, order blocks, all type of shit. I'm not dealing with that. What am I dealing with? You let your new liquidity pop in. You wait for a fractal 2022 model and even more liquidity if you really need it. That's how specific I am. And you let it run down. And again, let's measure some of these price swings. Stop playing with me right now. Easy. Let's do another one. From this gap here, what do you get? 1100. Stop playing with us. If you wanted the best one up here, and again, you're making yourself available. You're taking partials. You have one, two targets that you planned for the first time, but no, you're not closing your trade all the way because you understood that this was the high day. And also, you didn't close your trade. Why? Because it's 10 o'clock in the fucking morning. It's not done yet. Oh, well, Jay, what about that? This could have went up on me. No, it couldn't have. Are you sure? Yes. You have to come in and have reasons as to why we know it's not doing something. We've established this 60 times. And I'm saying it out loud because you can hear it in my voice about how I'm using that. Once you get wind of something, you get excited about it. You get like your heart race a little bit. Oh shit, I know exactly what I'm looking at. And what does this help you with? Even if you're not here, you're selling everything underneath the sun. Boom, selling it. And again, it's completely calculated. Every time it gives you a whoa, who's calling me and why? Oh, oh, scary as hell. Ooh. Anyway, I'll call back. So we're looking at this right here, right? He's only calling me to show me the last boss he beat in Black Myth Wukong that I didn't beat yet. So he's thinking I want to talk about that right now. No, I don't want to talk about it. I didn't beat it yet. No, 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 no. But anyway, so I'm looking at these areas, and that's what I said in the chat earlier. I want you guys to just be able to come in and say, you know what? Nah, I understand what I'm looking at and looking for. There's no real reason for me to assign both directions as equal. They are rarely equal. Rarely. But it's all about how you're planning. And then same thing with whether we're talking about the Friday, right? How do you trade Friday? Let's make it dumb easy. Watch this. We'll do this in 2 minutes. Watch this. Uh, don't need those yet. Let's do, yeah. We're just gonna pop on midnight. How do we trade this? Simple as fuck. Ready? Midnight here. You tell me what is the structure to a bullish daily candle? You don't even got to do any thinking. It simply takes you 5 seconds. It's either a Monday low, Thursday high, or a Monday low, Friday high, which is also acceptable. Once you realize that, functionality wise, it ain't nothing but a G thing. All right, watch this. What are we looking at? Stu. I always move those around. Quick. Do you get where I'm going with this? All right. This is nothing but the structure of a bullish candle. You don't have to do a lot of thinking. It's not really that difficult. And what is this at the very top? Wick. So, how is a wick being made? You open, you go down, and you make a bottom wick. You go upward, range expansion, range expansion. It makes a wick. It goes down. It could trade towards it, but it's not going to break it. And once you realize that, you sell that thing down because it has to make this exact structure. Do you feel what I'm fucking saying? So all the yo, is it up? Yo, is it down? It really needs to come from a real place of you're only trading one candle. As ridiculous as that fucking sounds, you're only ever trading one candle. Does that make sense at all? Maybe, possibly. When we talk about real organization here, whether you're somebody that trades ICT as like in terms of market structure, or even if you don't really want to look at it as like, oh, I don't like the 2022 model, or I don't like the Modus model, or I don't like uh thinking about seek and destroy or whatever the case may be. Or even if you don't like optimal trade entry, okay, then think more about the actual candle that you are trading on for reference, right? My bad. Rolling a joint. So, uh, are you surprised that the candle looks like this? It's nothing but a bullish candle. So, what are we confused about that? It's just that the overall practice that you guys are getting used to of actually like breaking things down and seeing it that way. You think about it that way. Think about how many bullish candles that are on the screen to our left. Just looked slightly to our left. Obviously, these are all the fucking same. You can trade that. Why can't you catch an entire 1 day candle? Why not? What's hard about that? Mm, yeah. Let's see. I should have spliffed it, but all good. We have 30 more joints to smoke. All right. Let's see. Now, this is my not this one. I'm looking at like this one. But this is my whole point. Candles look the fucking same, you know? All good. All good. So let me see. I'm looking for something. And to close out our last argument here, just wanted to pop on here really quick. But watch this. Same thing we talked about. Midnight being a natural equilibrium between premium, discount. Same thing here. You want to be a buyer under midnight. So where are you going to participate? Right here. And how am I going to annoy everybody one more time? What time is that? Come on, stop playing with me. To refresh your memory, why we give a fuck? Tell me again why you don't trade this shit every goddamn day. Let me know why you're looking directly at the same thing every single day as if it's something different. Oh man, we can go on forever about this, but you hopefully see my damn point. It don't stop. The only one that you get here is different here because that's a Friday and that's our TGIF setup. But again, you see why I have the CVL. It sounds all scientific that way, but again, they're just customizable vertical lines. That's it. There's another London 2 to 5 low, London 2 to 5 low. I'm telling you, you go nuts with this thing. You can do all things through 2 to 5, even this one. But my point though, right? All the easy ones. You're gonna find all of these um really extreme points at certain time of the day. It's not really like a high of the day or low of the day can be placed in anywhere. It's not really a random thing. Now, real quick, let's hold on. I just want to check this out really quick while we have some time with you guys. So I'm about to jump on another one-on-one in a moment, but watch this. All right. Wanted to check out the candle count so far. Okay. Um, these are really simple. What is that? Now, the reason why you're for this here, right? 0 through 7 is also going to be for me, the emphasis is on the rejection block. That's why you're seeing this as huge wick, have trouble breaking it. But then at the same time, um, I'd like to use the wick that is like in reference to where I am, closest to where I'm active in the marketplace. But I know a lot of people are going to be kind of a stickler about it. So if you don't think that that actual wick here is the rejection block wick, that's fine. 0 is also codename for high or low, obviously. 0 is interchangeable with 100. So we're offered a low here, okay? But even if you wanted to be, like I said, stickler about that rejection block, the candle before the 3 here, the purple one, I can use that one too. I don't really care. If you really feel like you get uncomfortable about what candle is rejection block or not, I'm not really in the arguing mindset, just more in the you guys can be creative mindset. I'd rather you guys get more creative than not. All right. Fair value. Of course, we're looking at some fair value, even though the market is closed for MLK. We are offered 14 right here as a rebalance of this whole big ass order block that is to our left. But realistically, outside of just these levels here, obviously the go back levels can tell you those places to be attentive to anyway. But it's cool to see this though. I really like the rejection block a lot and how 3 really does the job on hold on right there. There we go. 3 really does the job on that rejection block right there. And especially, I mean, hey, if you wanted to trade this really big move, but you knew which candle offered rejection block, hey man, I mean, endless possibility. Dude, where is the lighter? Dude, where? Oh no, I found it. I found it. Wait, wait, wait. Oh, it's the wrong lighter. Oh my God. No way. Wait, but does it work though? It works. What a good day today. But yes. So, whole point though, Let's see. We got to make sure we're more intentional about our trading in the range that we're actually trying to use. If you're telling me the trade or entry from area to target was enough range to put a dent in your damn account, then let's trust the logic and use the concept. And even if you are wrong, the places to invalidate your trade is a lot smaller than your supposed win. So you can't be scared to make a small mistake, even if you don't trust the logic fully. Ask me if you would like to verify something, and I shall help you. Okay? I can't believe this lighter works. That's dope.
Jay,
Yes.
does the fair value gap have like a different name if it's like an inverse and like a normal like buy side fair value gap? Is that like a BISI or because I didn't really like study the difference, the different like ones or the names.
Say
Like when
I
there's
will
an
keep it.
inverse, you see the zero and like before the zero, like that's an inverse, and then the fair value gap on the seven.
I mean, it could be, but this is what I was going to say. I mean, even if it is a inverse or not inverse, the whole point to it being right is that where are your 17 candles? That's why I marked this one, right? So even if you're looking at, let's go down here.
Yeah, it doesn't really even matter in the moment because you're gonna be using the tree, or even the order block from the 14.
I was going to say, yeah, probably because that 14 was really clean right there. Like, and that's the thing, they're interchangeable. So yeah, I'd be looking at that as an order block. That makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, I feel you.
So my thing is, regardless of actual PD array, I'm more interested to see like how some of these play out. So if I'm looking at like yeah, like this one was fun to me. See that? That was fun. That 17 fair value gap did really well. And then right into a 29.35. It really did not stop till that. I think that was the most fun I've had with that. The candle counter is beast, bro. It's really good. Cool, cool. Let me get some food before I jump on my next session, but I will see you guys shortly. I'll upload this video kind of quickly. I think one just got done uploading. So I should be able to upload this one pretty quickly.
Cool. Thanks, Jay.
Cool. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, thanks a bunch. It's great.
No
Enjoy
problem.
the rest of your day.
You too. The weed is lit. Do, do, do. I'll send you the video.